On this paper, I put 4 steps, but on the board, I put 3 steps. It's because step 3 and step 4 are combined. Step 3 and step 4 are that. Pretty much just simplify, reduce. Okay, that's the same. All right, so let's look at first one. Okay, parentheses. So first thing I have is I have 9 times x to the 4th, x to the negative 4th times y squared, and then I have a power, right? All right. How do I get rid of parentheses? So that's my first step, parentheses, right? So what do I do to get rid of the parentheses? Multiply, distribute, right? So I'm going to distribute the power to each of the inside, okay? So this guy, and this guy, okay? So when that happens, I get 9 to the 5 over 2. X already has a power. Y already has a power. Okay? That's the first step. We still have parentheses up, so we still got to multiply. So I'm going to multiply the powers. These two guys and these two guys. I'm going to multiply those two powers. Okay? Well, one's a fraction, one's not. To multiply fractions, they both have to be fractions. So I'm going to give this guy a fraction and a fraction. So the first one is 5 over 2, 9 to the 5 over 2. When you multiply fractions, you multiply straight across and divide if you can. So I get negative 4 times 5, negative 20, divided by 2. And then y is 10 divided by 2. Okay? Divide them if you can, reduce them if you can. So the first guy is 9 to the 5 over 2, and then over here we get negative 10 y5. First step done, no more parentheses. Let's go to second step. We do have negatives though, right? I do have one guy with a negative exponent. This guy right here. How do I make that guy positive? Move it to the bottom, right? If it's already on the bottom, move it up. So this guy's on the bottom. How do I know that? Because there is no fraction. It's over 1. So this guy is going to come down to the bottom. And it's going to be 9 to the 5 over 2 times y to the 5th x over 10. That's just a mistake there. Okay? No more negative exponents. Last step, simplify, reduce. These guys are on different levels. Can I subtract their powers? Can I go 5 minus 10? No, right? Because this guy, these guys don't have the same base. Leave them alone. If that was an x, if they both are x's, go for it. They both are y's, go for it. But they're not, so we can't. So how can we simplify? Well, we always end with the person or the thing with negative x, or sorry, with a fraction exponent. We're going to go take that guy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to simplify that guy. Okay? So this means 9 to the 5 over 2 is the same thing as 9 to the 5th square root, right? That's what that means. 9 to the 5th square root. Look for pairs. Look for pairs. So I have 9 times 9 times 9 times 9 times 9. Well, I have 1 pair, 2 pair. So I have 9 times 9. Those guys go away. So I have 9 times 9, which makes 81 with 1 9 left over. So 81 with a 9 left over. That's not all the way simplified, though, because what's the square root of 9? 3. So this guy is actually 81 times 3, which if you go to your calculator is 243. Move this guy back in. So instead of 9 to the 5 over 2, it's really 243. 243 times y to the 5th, x to the 10th. Done. That's how you simplify. That's how we're going to simplify. Okay? Again, we use the same rules. It was the same rules. I didn't use any new rules or anything like that. It's just using the same rules. Okay? All right, let's go to the next one now. Let's go to letter B. So I have 32 times x to the negative 5 times x or y to the 35. How do I get rid of parentheses? Give everybody a power. Give everybody a power. Okay? Power, power, power. So it's going to be 32 to the negative 1/5 power, x to the negative 5 to the negative 1/5 power, y to the 35 to the negative 1/5 power. I still have parentheses, so I got to multiply. Multiply, multiply. Okay. So when I multiply, I get a negative times a negative, which makes a positive. Positive 5 over 5. Negative 5 times negative 1 makes positive 5. Positive 1 times positive 5 makes positive 5. And then 35 times negative 1 is negative 35 over 5. I can divide. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 5 divided by 35 is negative 7. So I get 32 to the negative 1/5 times x to the 1 times y to the negative 7. Sorry. Negative 7. No more parentheses. Negatives or zeros. I do have two negatives. This guy has a negative exponent. This guy has a negative exponent. Just like on the last problem, they're going to have to go down the elevator. Okay. So it's going to be x by itself on top. It's x to the first, but you can just write x. And then on bottom, it's 32 to the 1/5 times y to the 7th. Okay, I'm going to turn off the front lights so you can see it a little better. Okay. Again, I can't subtract or add any powers because they don't have the same base. So what's the last thing? Well, anybody with a fraction power needs to see if it can be reduced. So this guy here I'm going to take over here and see if I can reduce it. So this means 32 to the first power, I'm looking for groups of 5. That's what that means. The top is the power, the bottom is the root. So 32, I need to see if it's got any groups of 5. Okay, so let me go 32. 32 is 8 times 4. 4 times 2, 2 times 2, and then it's got a whole bunch of 2s. It's got a whole bunch of 2s. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I'm looking for groups of 5. I got one group. Nothing left on the inside. 2. Nothing left on the inside, so I don't need to write the root anymore. Last step, move it back. I get x. Instead of 32 to the 1/5, I know that number is now 2. It reduces to 2. Y 7. Done. Okay. All right. Okay, so I want you to do letter C. Use these. I'm going to leave this one up there. Use it to do letter C. Parentheses, negatives, negative exponents, simplify, reduce. Okay? Do letter C right on the back. Letter C, first thing we got to do is distribute the power to 25, to x10, and to 8. Distribute means multiply. So we get 25 to the negative 5 over 2. I get x10 to the negative 5 over 2. And y8 to the negative 5 over 2. Okay. Oops, can't see it. Distribute powers again to get rid of the parentheses. So you're going to get 25 to the negative 5 over 2. X, let's see if we can do this in one step. If I multiply the tops, I get negative 50. If I multiply the bottoms, I get 2. Negative 50 divided by 2 is negative 25. And then 8 is 8 over 1. 8 times negative 5 is negative 40. Divided by 2 is negative 20. Okay, the calculator, like I said, those white calculators are great at multiplying, adding, and subtracting fractions. So I don't want that to be the if you're not sure, if you can do it in your head, great. If you can't, just grab one of the calculators, multiply, and do that for you so that you don't make mistakes there. All 3 of them are negatives. All 3 of them are negatives. So they all have to take the elevator down. So it's going to be 1 on top, because remember, if there's nothing on top or nothing on bottom, it's always a 1. And I get 25 to the 5 over 2, x to the 25, y to the 20. They're all on the same level, but I can't add their exponents because they're not the same base. 25, x, and y aren't the same. So what do? Simplify. Take 25 to the 5 over 2 and see if you can simplify it. So 25, the power is 5, it's a square root. The power is 5. It's a square root because it's 2 on the bottom. I'm looking for groups of 2. How many pairs is 25 to the 5th going to have? 2. Right? It'll have 2 pairs, right? Because it's just 25. A lot of you can do this in your head, so that's why I ask. But if you can't, that's what it means, right? It has 2 groups, just like you just said. 2 groups. 1, 2. So 25 and 25 can come out. That leaves a 25 on the inside, though. So we get 25 times 25, and then I get a square root of 25 left over, right? Well, 25 itself has a pair. What is the square root of 25? 5. So that guy has a pair, so don't leave one in. So it's actually 25 times 25 times regular 5. And when you do that, I believe you get 3,125. If I remember from last period. Nothing left inside the root because square root is 20, square root is 5. Put that back, rewrite it, you're done. 1, so this is 3,125, x 25, y 20. Done. Okay. Try D. Try letter D. The power is 3/5. The power is 3/5. The outside power is 3 over 5. 3 over 5. If you haven't already, try D. So when you distribute the powers, 32 to the 3/5, and then you have negative 20 to the times 3/5, right? When you multiply there. So you can just say negative 20 times 3 divided by 5. Oops, no, I don't want that. Times 3, no, I don't want that. Why does it do that? All right, let's just do it like this then. Let's see. 3/5 times negative 20. There you go, negative 12. So the first power is going to be negative 12. The second one is 15 times 3/5. And it's 9. Okay. So x negative 12, y positive 9. Negative exponents. That guy's got to go move down. So it's 32 to the 3/5 times y9 over x12. Last step, 32 3/5. I'm looking for groups of 5, and I have 32, 32, and 32. So at first look, it doesn't look like I have enough 32s, and I don't. But it's kind of misleading, because each one of those 32s, we did it in the front, right? Each one of those 32s is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 twos. That's 5 twos. That's 5 twos. That's 5 twos. So how many twos do I have total? I'm going to have 3 groups, right? I'm going to have 3 groups. So if each one of them is 5, that means I have 15 total, right? Which makes 3 groups, yeah. Which makes 3 groups. So you'll have 2, 2, and 2, which makes 8. Move it back. Done. Because each one of those 32s is 5 twos. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. If I do that 3 times, that's 15 twos. Okay. All right. Okay. Few more, then we'll do the exit ticket, then we'll be done. All right, so let's go to number 2A. Directions change a little bit, but really, we're still going to use those same steps. We're still using the same steps. Okay? Parentheses, nope. Don't have parentheses here. Negative exponents, don't have any negative exponents either. Who owns the power? So 6/5. Whose power is that? Is that 243 or is that x or is it both? Just x, right? So really, it's 243 times x to the 6/5. 243 has nothing to do with that power. It's got its own power, 1, right? So 243, does it have a fraction power? No, it's done. 243 is done. The guy with the fraction power now is this guy. So I got to see what this guy has any pairs. So it's got a power of 6, and I'm looking for groups of 5. How many groups of 5 is it going to have? 1 group, 1 left over, right? Move that back in. $243 times x, 1 left over, done. Okay. Next one should be, yeah, B. There you go. Okay, next one. Now I got to distribute the powers. I got 2 powers, I got 2 things, so I got to distribute. So 125 has got a 5/3 power. X has a 5/3 power. No more parentheses. No negatives at all. We didn't have any negatives to start out with, so we don't have to do that step. Simplify. Simplify means anything with a fraction power. See if you can reduce it or simplify it at all. So that guy and this guy. Okay? start with 125. 125 has a root of 3, and 5 125s. Top is 5, that's why there's 5 of them. Bottom is 3, that's why I'm looking for groups of 3. Circle groups of 3. So I have 125, but I still have 2 left in here. I'm not done. That doesn't mean, again, it's a little misleading because each one of those 125s has a pair. $125 is 25 times 5. Circle the 5. 5 times 5. So 125 is really 5 times 5 times 5. So how many 5s, if each one of these 125s is 3 5s, how many 5s do I have? 6. So 5 to the 6th power. 5 to the 6th power. Look for groups of 3 again. If I have 6 total, how many groups of 3 do I have? 2. So 1, 2. So 125 times 5 times 5 is 3,125. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to the x. The x's aren't that bad because you don't have to break down anything. This guy is just x times x times x times x times x. There's 5 of them, right? There's 5. That's what the 5 on top means, a 3, looking for groups of 3. I only got one group. So I got x, 2 left over. So we'll say x squared. Put them together. $3,125 times x squared. Put them together. Okay. Okay. We might not have time to do the group or the exit ticket. It's okay. Let's just do the last one and see where we're at. Okay. First step. For the last one, C. What do I do for my first step? Distribute 1/3 here, 1/3 here. 27 1/3 times x2 to the 1/3. Still have parentheses. Multiply parentheses. You get 27 1/3, and then you get x 2/3. Because 2 times 1, 2 over 1 times 1 over 3. There are no negatives for this guy. Simplify. Looking for triples here. They each looking to see if we have triples here. So 27 to the 1st power, and I'm looking for triples. Well, it's just 27. 27 is 9 times 3. 3 times 3. We've done that many times before. 3 times 3 times 3. One group. So you just get 3. Over here, you get x squared looking for groups of 3. You don't have enough. We don't have enough. So put these two guys together, and you're done. You are done. Okay. Yeah, so we don't have, I'm not going to make you guys do an exit ticket today. We'll do an exit ticket next time. What I want you to do is tape this in your notes, though. Definitely tape that in your notes so that you don't lose it.